Those players do shake hands, but he's got to get by one fantastic player, Platinum Magician and Rookie of the Year in Jared Boettcher.
What a year for Jared. What a year.
You're almost underselling it.
Yeah.
Pretty good hand there from Bruce. You can see a couple of lands, a couple of 1-drops. Got to be happy with that. I think there's also a Mutavault in there as well.
Well, it looks like it's 2 Stoke the Flames, 2 creatures, 3 lands, which looks like a great hand, and it is, but this is the type of hand that's very susceptible to Desecration Demon.
It's a Thoughtseize here to start. So Bruce is going to lay out his hand. You're going to see 2 mountains, a Mutavault, a Burning Tree Emissary, a Stoke the Flames. There's also a Fire Draco Satyr and a Rakdos Cackler, so it's even better than we thought.
Yeah, excuse me. The Burning Tree Emissary, not being a second Stoke of Flames, does make this hand much better.
No world you're mulliganing that hand.
No, I'm not saying this hand's a mulligan. I'm saying this hand is worse than it may appear on the surface because it's very susceptible to Desecration Demon.
Yeah.
It's another thing where being on the play in this matchup is a huge deal. I mean, if Adam starts out here with Mountain Rakdos Cackler, Jared can't kill it for a couple turns. Thoughtseize takes something redundant. But on the play, this is great for Jared.
All right, Adam's going to draw a card here. It's a copy of Lightning Strike. This is a Fire Drinker Satyr, and Bruce will pass the turn back over to Boettcher. Boettcher will draw a card. It's a Swamp. We'll play that. That's a Devour Flesh to get Fire Drinker Satyr off the table right away.
Yeah, doing this because he knows about the Mutavault in Adam's hand.
Bruce will draw. It's a copy of Rebel Belt Maka. Burning Tree Emissary is not exciting right now, and he's not going to deploy that threat. I'm a little surprised by that.
Well, by doing it like this, if Jared's next turn is Nightveil Spectre, Adam gets to just Lightning Strike it, untap, play Burning Tree Emissary, animate Mutavault, and attack.
Sure. He's going to send a Lightning Strike upstairs, so Boettcher's going to go down to 15. Using that as kind of a glorified Lava Spike at this point.
Yeah, Adam's play, I think, is better in the event that Jared plays a creature last turn. Okay. If it's Pack Rat or Nightveil Spectre.
Let's see what Bruce wants to deploy this turn, if anything. Looks like he's going to go with the Burning Tree Emissary, follow up with the Foundry Denizen, and now fire up the old Mutavault potentially. I'm a little scared to attack. A little surprised by that. Now here's a Desecration Demon.
Very expensive cards to get wet.
See if Bruce can beat the 6/6.
Very surprised to see a no attack from the Mutavault there.
Yeah, me as well. Me as well. I don't think you can try to play like a long, drawn-out game or anything like that. You have to get your shots in when you can. If your opponent has removal spells, they have it. You know, that's kind of life.
It's a spot where if Jared has 2 mana up and you say, all right, I don't want to attack with Mutavault because he has a removal spell here, maybe that's okay. But in a spot where you're already deploying 2 creatures, he's going to be able to use his removal spell on something else at the end of the turn if you don't animate the Mutavault.
Yeah. Bruce is going to sacrifice the Foundry Denizen here. Going to attack for 2. He's going to maybe Maka twice. Yeah. So it's going to be 3, 6, 7, 8 points of damage. Boettcher's going to take a bunch here. And Bruce is left with just a Stoke the Flames left in his hand.
Now, if this attack actually got Jared into a range where Stoke the Flames was lethal, I would be fine with it. As it stands, because it's not, I think I would have preferred to animate Mutavault, attack with it, and only Maka once. So you leave a Maka left over.
Here's an attack for 7. Bruce is going to on 14. He's on 3-turn clock right now. There's a Watery Grave. There's another copy of Desecration Demon. And Boettcher will pass the turn back over to Bruce. Bruce is going to untap just that lone Burning Tree Emissary. Draws another copy of Foundry Denizen.
Has everyone received their tokens? You have not received your tokens. Please raise your hand. Awesome. So everyone should have tokens in front of you. Can you please?
We'll see what Adam Bruce wants to do on this turn of the game. I'm not sure if he's able to come back from this though.
It's a tough spot. It's not. He does basically have to win the game this turn because if Jared gets to untap with Devour Flesh in hand,
it's over.
That's over. Can Devour Flesh his own Desecration Demon and win with the leftover Desecration Demon.
And it's just so important that you sequence everything correctly when you're playing this deck. because, you know, there's really no room for error. You know, sacrifice the Fire Drink Crusader here, come across for 4, I imagine. Put you down to 3. But you can see the Devour Flesh in Boettcher's hand. Draws a copy of Sign in Blood, I believe. And we will sacrifice to that demon. Here's an attack for 7. So Bruce is going to go down to 7. And Bruce is hoping that that Stoke the Flames is good enough to get the job done. There's a swamp from Boettcher.
If I'm Jared here, I'm not getting fancy. I'm just casting this Devour Flesh.
I don't think he has any reason to cast it now. There's no way he can die.
I guess it's a lock either way.
Yeah,
but
there's actual no way he can die this turn. Yeah, and Jared's going to show him Devour Flesh, so there's nothing you can do to get out of this. So if you drew the 4th land for Stoke the Flames and you cast it, I'll respond by casting Devour Flesh. Mutavault's going to come in. I will activate my Mutavault to block. Yeah, there's no way for Adam Bruce to get out of this. So Jared Boettcher is going to win game number 1 here over Adam Bruce. Black Blue Devotion is up a game here over Rabble Red as Jared's able to win game number 1 on the play, which is very important for him.
Yeah, because things are not really improving very much for him in the post-board games.
Yeah.
Adam has to break serve at some point in this matchup.
Yeah, and we'll get to the sideboards here in just a moment, but we will, of course, prepare for our premium giveaway. He's got the question, I've got the rules. Very simply, get your Twitters open. Hashtag with SCG Premium. Make sure you're following at SCG Live. Patrick will ask you a question for 6 months of premium. And don't forget that all contests and giveaways here done on Star City Games are the sole discretion of Star City Games. Twitch.tv is in no way affiliated with our contest or giveaways. Mr. Sullivan, take it away.
Adam Bruce's list, Rabble Red, very dense in 1-drops. Obviously, there's 15 total in the list. 3 different 4-ofs and 1 3-of. Can you name that 3-of?
And if you can, hashtag the answer with the hashtag of SCG Premium. Make sure you're following at SCG Live, and we'll announce the winner of our 6-month premium giveaway at the conclusion of our semifinal round as we do head back down to the match because we will take a look at the sideboards, and we'll begin with Adam Bruce's sideboard where he has 4 Eidolon of the Great Revel, 3 Dynacharge, 2 Magma Spray, 2 Skullcrack, a Flames of the Firebrand, 2 Amazing Mortars, and a Seismic Stomp. Mr. Sullivan, what do you like?
I like 4 copies of Eidolon of the Great Revel, and that is about it. I do not like Skullcrack very much in this matchup. I know some people like it, some people do not. I'm on the do not like it side. 4 Eidolons is very nice against a deck with a lot of 2 and 3 mana removal spells, though.
On Jared Boettcher's side, there are 3 copies of Lifebane Zombie, an Ocean Thief, an Underworld Connections, 3 Doomblade, 2 Negate, 2 Erebos God of the Dead, and 3 copies of Duress. Much like the last matchup we saw, he doesn't really have great tools against aggressive decks. At least in the last one, he could board in a Lifebane Zombie, it would be an all-star, but that's not even great here.
Yeah, Lifebane Zombie is an active liability against a deck that's bringing Legion Loyalists to the table with no green or white creatures. So I think you're just going to see some Doomblades come in and probably some Underworld Connections come out.
Any chance of Duress coming in here?
There's only 8 spells in the Rabble Red list, and, you know, maximum of 10 if you think it's in play for Adam to bring in some Skullcracks. So, probably not. It's tough to justify, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that Duress is going to, you know, there's possibility that it does come in. You do mention that there are only 8 spells, 4 Stoke the Flames, 3 Lightning Strikes, and a Titan Strain. So, and it doesn't look like he's going to board in any more spells. At least we don't think. There's maybe a chance that he boards in Magma Spray, maybe a chance he boards in Skullcrack here, maybe even Mizium Mortars. But I'm with you. If I'm in Adam's spot, I'm just boarding in those 4 Eidolons and getting to work.
Yep. Don't really want to bring in Dynacharge against the all removal spell deck. Though Jared has less action here than most decks do. I don't know. It's close.
Yeah, we will see. Looks like we have 226 players here for our Legacy Open. Healthy amount of people here.
That is. How many rounds is 226?
I believe it's 8. I believe. We will get confirmation from the amazing Callie Anderson, but we do have some mighty skilled Legacy players in our crowd today. I know we had Dan Lanthier here yesterday doing battle. I'm not sure if he's here today. We know Dan Jordan's here, Gerard Fabiano, Alex Bertensini, Ross Merriam, Brian Gottlieb. I see Anthony Lowry right now. He's probably playing Omnitel. So it should be, and we can't forget about the guys from Jupiter Games too.
For sure.
I imagine, you know, James Rinkowitz, Eli Cassis. And all those gentlemen are here as well this morning, so that'll be fun to watch.
When do you think Anthony Lowry's infatuation with the unfair decks of Legacy is going to end?
I'm not sure. At some point, I'm not sure.
He likes to show and tell.
Well, it's hard not to.
It's true.
A very powerful card. I'm a big fan. There's also Old School Pro and World's Top 8 competitor. I don't even remember from what year. Ken Crowner.
I believe 2001?
Oh, a long time ago.
His run was also, I believe he started off 03.
He did, I know that
and
for a
ripped
fact.
off like 15 in a row or something back when Worlds was 18 rounds.
I think we should call that the Ichikawa.
No, but Ichikawa was 2 and 3.
But just ripping off a bunch of rounds in a row.
KK, I believe, was 0 and 3.
Well, 0-3 is obviously much more impressive than 2-3. I will give you that. Ishikawa's last 2 Pro Tours, he started 2-3 in both and ripped off 11 rounds in a row to top 8.
One of the old SPED guys, the most famous of whom, Jamie Park, has had a resurgent pro career as of late.
Yep. He is back, Jamie P is.
All the Magic slang that you either love or despise,
Jamie P?
that crew is primarily responsible for.
The word "mise"
Yep.
comes from, I believe, Jamie P and Jason Opalka. Not many people know the King.
Yeah, King he was a nice one.
Yeah, one of Ohio's finest.
And there's a lot of competition for Ohio's finest.
I still think he kind of, when I was coming up in Magic, there were legendary tales about the King.
Sure.
There really were.
Kenny Shung,
Ah, yes.
Alex Borta, I guess you now.
Are there legendary tales about me? I don't want to be ever thought of as old school, because that'll make me feel old.
I saw Old School applied to me for the first time, I believe, in 2010.
Jeez.
And it was really rough to see.
Jeez.
Yep.
I'm only 28. That can't be considered old school.
In this
At least
game?
I hope not.
You're a decade deep. And the other thing is, Magic's grown so much in the last 4 years. There's so much new blood.
That's true.
That anyone that came around, I mean, we're soon going to be talking about the original Ravnica as being old school. We're not that far away from that being a thing.
Original Ravnica was 06, I think.
That sounds right.
That was like almost a decade ago now. That's frightening.
Yeah.
No, original Ravnica was...
I think 2006 sounds right. Because I top-aided GP Detroit in 2005. That was Champions block, and then Ravnica was the block after.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The way that I think of original Ravnica is drafting RRR and forcing green-white literally every draft.
Yeah, that sounds right.
For Selesnya Evangel and friends, and doing it with John Pelkak online. Like, he was at University of Minnesota, I was at University of Purdue, and that we would just have, AIM open, and she's like, how many Evangels do you have in your deck?
I forced Boros.
Idiot.
You know why?
Why?
Because you got all the cards.
Well, no one drafted Boros. I will give you that.
No one took the cards. You got them all. All the Sky Knight Legionnaires.
Yeah, I will give you that. No one really drafted a Golgari.
Yeah, sometimes you'd splash it in green-white decks, but usually
sometimes
not.
you would splash it for the Rotworm and friends, and then the Entrancer decks were all really good, the Dimir decks.
Yeah.
Those were pretty good. And then green-white was busted.
That's another format that I think people are nostalgic over that doesn't really hold up well over time.
No, it's great.
If you went back and did, I think you would be
great.
disappointed.
It's so good. I just remember when everyone thought that Evangel wasn't very good, and everyone found out very quickly that Evangel was
busted.
insane.
Yeah, the best thing to do by a mile.
Yeah.
Well, except for Sky Knight Legionnaire.
Easy. You and your love for red hasty creatures, as here's a Foundry Street Denizen. Boettcher with just a Swamping Pass in the turn back. We'll see if Bruce can have a pretty good turn here. That's a Mutavault, just land number 2. This is a Rakdos Cackler. That'll make the Denizen a little bit bigger. And it'll come across for 2. So Boettcher's going to go down to 18. Boettcher draws a Hero's Downfall for the turn. That's a Swamp. We'll see if he has a removal spell for 2 mana here. You can see the Bile in his hand, so he may have one that he wants to cast right now. We will see.
Yeah, he wants to be playing removal spells inside of, before attackers, if that becomes a thing because of Probabal Maka. Bile specifically. Does not want to be casting that as Adam is attacking.
See if it's time to get in the red zone or not. Looks like Adam's considering firing up the old Mutavault here. You can see a Burning Tremor in his hand. It looks like he also has a Skullcrack as well.
The old double red hands. I know them well.
Here's an attack. can also see, man, you can also see an Eidolon and a Great Revel in his hand as well. Just going to be an attack here for 3. Boettcher's considering casting a Bioblight now on the Rakdos Cackle. We'll see if there's Maka. Looks like there is. Yep, so there's Maka. So that's not going to die. So that's just basically going to counter that. So it'll still be an attack for 3. And more importantly for Bruce, he doesn't lose his creature.
Yep. That was not a great sequence for Jared.
No, not at all. There's a Mutavault, kind of pass the turn back.
Got a little too fancy with his instance there.
Bruce going to draw. Another Eidolon. Just can't find the lands. Here's a Mutavault. Gonna serve in here with everybody. Boettcher has the opportunity to just kind of eat that Foundry Denizen.
Yeah, this is that attack with the Denizen there is a shade too aggressive for my liking. If I was Jared, then I would have just swallowed up that Denizen. That's a great spot to block.
Yeah. Gotta take 3, however. As we are being informed right now that Eric English, is up a game here over Tariq Patel. That means Rebel Red's up a game over Green-White. See a second Mutavault coming to play for Boettcher. And here is the Mighty Desecration Demon. So Adam Bruce is probably going to put the brakes on here now. But if he draws a red mana, we're looking at an entirely different game.
Oh, he's good to go. I mean, he gets a casted creature, triggers Foundry Denizen, attack, and
there it is.
There it is.
I wonder what you cast this turn. He's got a Burning Tree Emissary in his hand. He's also got an Eidolon of the Great Revel.
Well, if he has nothing to play off the Burning Tree Emissary, it's Eidolon, because you want to allow yourself to top deck any creature, basically, play Burning Tree, and then that creature. So if he has nothing to follow up with, it's got to be the Eidolon.
It's actually kind of interesting, because if he plays the Emissary, it generates 2 mana. So you play that, you get the 2 mana, and then you have 2 creatures to tap to cast Stoke the Flames. So then you dome Jared, you put him to 5, you sacrifice the Emissary, and then you come across your 2 more, you put him to 3. Maybe there's some interest in that play?
But I don't think you lose access to that play is the thing.
Okay.
You get that somewhere down the line.
Okay. 3 and 4. So now we're going to see. Well, actually, what kind of makes this interesting too is because he domes them, right? He puts them to 5. He sacrifices a creature, puts him to 3, and he has a Skullcrack in his hand. So long as Jared doesn't have Grey Merchant, I actually think this works out pretty well.
Sure. No, this is fair.
I mean, it's definitely risky.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I definitely agree with you there. It's definitely a risky play. He's kind of moving all in, but you can actually see Jared's hand. I think he does have a 5th land and a Grey Merchant. So this actually kind of backfires a little bit. There's a 3rd Mutavault. There's a Grey Merchant immediately to blow this plan up.
Yeah. Though Adam's sequencing is good there. It does put him in range. The problem is that he can't leave up Skullcrack regardless, unless he's willing to just say go there.
Yeah, which is not going to happen.
So Grey Merchant's going to be a big problem regardless.
If you draw the 2nd mountain and don't do anything, Jared's got to be thinking, well, this is what's going on.
Untap, attack you with Mutavault. Or what?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
What's really going on here,
Right.
right? Boettcher sitting at 7 now, where Bruce is at 16. 2 mana spell, it's an Eidolon. This might be a little bit late to the party now.
Yeah, he can no longer punch through because the Grey Merchant is also an effective blocker.
And we can't forget about those 3 Mutavaults that are in play. Boettcher going to put the Desecration Demon Trigger on the stack. As a 7/7 flyer, we'll see if Boettcher wants to attack with that.
It would blow, maybe it doesn't, but it would probably blow your mind if you knew how many times I lost to Grey Merchant because it's a 2/4.
It doesn't blow my mind at all.
Like if it was a 3/3, how many games I would have won
You'd be
instead.
okay, yeah. The fact that, I mean, it's not an accident that thing has 4 toughness. I can promise you that. There's a Swamp. Bruce getting into a little bit of trouble here. That Eidolon could actually start backfiring against him.
Well, these Mutavaults are also big time trouble.
Are you saying that Mutavault's good?
It is both a land and a spell. And traditionally, that's been really powerful in constructed Magic.
You know your history. No attacks here. Demon Trigger's on the stack again, and we're going to sacrifice Foundry Denizen, and that one's not good anymore. Boettcher going to pull those 6 lands forward, but I don't imagine we're going to see an attack here. Jared can kind of do what we saw him doing against White Wheat in the last round, which is keep presenting lethal here with the Desecration Demon until Adam does something about it. Now, Adam, looks like he might play another copy of the Idol.
Well, I mean, this is just food for
the demon?
Yeah.
Okay. You got to take 2 to put the food out there, though. Looks like that might be on the stack.
Yeah, this may be a spot where Jared wants to use a removal spell because now it's becoming really prohibitive.
Yeah, he can clear the path, maybe fire up all 3 Mutavolts and try to kill you on the next turn. There's potential for that.
Because he is still at risk of getting burned out. I know it looks like Jarrett can just say, okay, trigger my demon, go, trigger my demon, go, wait you out. But 7 is not that safe. That's Skullcrack plus Stoke the Flame.
Yeah, Lightning Strike as well.
Yeah.
And you have to imagine that's still in the deck for Adam, so. Jared's going to go reaching, and this is all in response to the Eidolon. He's going to cast Hero's Downfall to take care of the Braintree Emissary. He's going to take 2 to do so he's going to go down to 5. So away that goes. Now the Eidolon's going to come in. And Bruce may have a response here. But I don't think you can afford to respond with anything at this point.
Yeah, you can see what Jared's going for here. If one of these creatures gets sacrificed to the demon, there's 3 Mutavolts and the Grey Merchant, so it compels a chump block at least.
Yeah. I think Adam would actually be interested in chump blocking.
Well, yeah. He would be locked under the Eidolon if he doesn't,
yeah.
So
that's going to come in. So now, Boettcher will untap. He will draw cards. Copy of Doomblade.
And Jared still has to be careful.
Yep. He's in a good spot right now, but as you mentioned, he does have to be careful. Those Eidolons can make things pretty yucky. Trigger. Well, we know he's sacking. So there goes that. Let's see what Boettcher wants to attack with. He's going to fire at Mutavolts. Here we go. Here they come. Got a block, obviously.
Yep.
You just trade with the Mutavault here. So Bruce is going to go down to 1. Boettcher's going to play Watergrave Tap, pass the turn back. Got to fire off the Skullcrack now.
Yeah, but Adam is definitely drawing alive here.
Yeah, his last card's a Firefish Striker. He's drawing to Skullcrack, Stoke, Strike. Maybe a haste creature I'm not
Legion Loyalist? Oh, no, he's a sorry.
See what he draws? It's a Rebel Belt Maka. Go with the Firefish Striker. He's going to play the Maka. But that's not what he's looking for. We don't get to see the 3/3 for 4 come out there very often.
Two good deals.
Yeah, show up Firefish Striker. And you can see the game. Jared Boettcher's going to win this match over Rabble Red. And the reigning Rookie of the Year has somehow made it through again, and he is on to the finals.
It's pretty